All right, let's go
Are either
live.
one of you guys on plus 11.5 with the
No, I
State?
laid it on the super square side with Kansas State. I wanted. Trust me, I wish I could. It's just what I've seen from Oklahoma State is disgusting. I do think that kid will make some plays though. Bowman, now that he's officially the starting quarterback and there's no more like battling for the job, I actually think he'll.
Yeah.
And Kansas State's secondary is definitely beatable, but as a whole, on paper, Kansas State should beat the shit out of them again. But we're live. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Nice. I was going to say I took Jaden Bray, 50-plus receiving yards. It's still plus money. I figured that was pretty good. It's only like a couple of yards more than his original line. He's the second leader in targets on that team. So.
You took that after you heard the news about the broken wrist?
Yeah, I had already had Stribling in. Stribling's line was too low already, and then they announced that. I was like, it's only 3 yards less than his original line, and it's even money.
Yeah, that's actually a good look. All right, so we're just going to run through the 4 baseball games. We're all crazy busy this time of year on the weekend, so it's not going to be super long. First one up, Rangers at Orioles. Now, keep in mind, the pie chart's in the bottom left. Most people bet the day of, especially for like playoff baseball with all the football going on. So this still could move. It's looking like Baltimore's the heavy public side, and it will be. But don't be alarmed by the lack of line movement. We're about 24 hours out from the game, so it's not unusual that the line hasn't done crazy things yet. I just want to clarify, because usually when we do a baseball show, it's about 3 hours from the first pitch, so we've already seen the movement. Orioles, Rangers, over, under. All right. BLT, want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably lay it. Take the Orioles here minus 142. I would love to know who's pitching for the Rangers, but Bradish was pretty solid this year. 12-7, 2.83 ERA, and you just have to imagine that Camden Yard is going to be absolutely jumping. This is like one of those experiences that's going to be unlike what happened with the Tampa Bay Rays, where the Rays had nobody in their stadiums, the least amount of fans since 1919. Since they didn't even know how to get to baseball games. It's just going to be one of those electric atmospheres. I think the price is right. And I also think that this is one of those where you don't have to worry about expectation too much. They're going to play more free in game 1. If they end up losing, that's when it starts to get dicey. But let's see. I think that's probably where I'm going to be at.
Yeah, well, I could definitely see the Camden Yards rocking angle. That place is going to be going crazy. I just was at the Knicks game 3 against the Cavs, game 4 when we wanted to go up 3-1, and I've never seen it like that before. Madison Square Garden was crazy. So when you have a bad team that doesn't, well, I wouldn't say bad team, but when you have an organization that isn't normally in this position that's in it right now, the place is going to be going nuts. Toast, are you sticking with Texas? That's been paying out for you.
You goddamn right. Give me the Texas Rangers on the money line at plus 125. I've only bet it for a half a unit right now because I think that we're going to get better odds later tomorrow. I'm also taking Texas team total over 3.5 at minus 115. First and foremost, Bradish has been good. There's no question about that. But overall, I still think Texas has a better lineup. I think Texas has the better defense. And in this pitching, I still think, Baltimore's pitching has been good, but like even Bradish, his 4-seam fastball is one of the worst pitches graded in Major League Baseball this year. So if he leaves a couple hanging, it could be lights out for them early. Dane Dunning, do I love Dane Dunning? Not really. But I think what I do love is I have Bruce Bochy against Brandon Hyde. Brandon Hyde, a young manager, he's with the Cubs when they went on their run, so it's not like he's going to not know what to do. But Bruce Bochy has done this more times. He has full control over that team. He's going to be making all these decisions. I trust the decisions that Bruce Bochy is going to make with the bullpen. I don't think that you're going to see a whole bunch of Dane Dunning. I think you're going to see Dane Dunning. I think you might see a little Martin Perez, and then they might mix and match going through. But I don't. It's the first game of the day. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time, 12 Eastern time, whatever it is. It's 9 a.m. in Alaska. But I'm sure Camden Yards is going to be rocking. But I think I have the better defense. I have the better bats. You might have the pitching advantage for a little bit, but that Baltimore bullpen hasn't been the same. I just think that there's too much value on this Rangers team, so I'm going to continue to play the Rangers until they give me a reason not to.
Yeah, I'm going Rangers too, but I'm just full disclosure, I'm just tailing Toast. I haven't really looked at it. I'm in football mode. Toast is Tailing toast has been profitable for the first couple days of playoff baseball, so I'm continuing it. If this was last year, I would never bet Dane Dunning in a day game because his splits during the day last year, oh my God, in ERA like, up at 7 in the day. But that was last year. That has not been the case this year. I'm down to back Dane Stunning, as Prop Beaver calls him. Yeah, I'm taking the Rangers at plus money. They're hot, stay hot. And I didn't even think about this. There's probably not going to be a ton of people watching live. Most people be rewatching tonight into tomorrow, so the polls might be a little weak. But the polls slightly leaning Baltimore. But like I said, there's not a ton of people watching live. 50% betting the Orioles, 40% betting the Rangers. Over and under is split. Next game. Minnesota at Houston in what it looks like such a boring playoff series. I'm sure you guys are excited. Yeah, I already know. Toast, why don't you start us? Oh, yeah, why don't you start us off?
You are tripping. This is like one of the. I mean, this is so compelling to me. I mean, you have the Twins that I've been saying since May are a team that could play in the World Series, and I've just been called an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. Blah 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 blah. And yet here we are, the Minnesota Twins, and everybody wants to talk about them, and that's what's bothering me. I think they're just getting a little bit too much love here. The Houston Astros are still the Houston Astros, guys. I'm fully aware of what they've looked like at times this season, but they haven't even been healthy this whole season. I mean, Altuve, Alvarez, all those guys have fantastic numbers in the second half of the season. I don't know. Are the Twins a very good team? Absolutely. But the Twins strike out a lot. I understand that Justin Verlander hasn't been the same pitcher, but I think that he just showed in Seattle what he's more than capable of doing. I just watched his press conference. He just talked about how he found something mechanically, and he's pitching a little bit more free. And if that's going to be a problem with the Twins striking out 26.6% of the time, that's the highest rate in Major League Baseball. Kyle Tucker, Bregman, Jordan, all those guys. I just trust that Houston lineup. I just do. Until Houston, somebody beats Houston, I'm going to be riding Houston. I don't know as far as game one on this price. I'm hoping it gets into like that low 150s, high 140s range. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to find ways to play Houston in this series. I'll be on Houston game one. I just don't know how exactly I'm going to play it. But I just obviously Joe Ryan is not going. It's going to be Bailey Ober. I'm
not Joe Ryan.
Over.
Prop even messed up the graphics, I guess.
So, well, we didn't know until 20.
Oh, we just found out. You're off the hook. You're off the hook, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think that the Astros are the team to beat still in that American League, and until somebody knocks them off, I'm going to continue playing them. Again, I'm not playing them right now on the money line just because that price is there. I think that we're going to see a lot of action coming on the Twins.
You could pair them with the Braves because there's no way trash-ass Phillies are going to win.
You know, and God well, that's not going to happen with me.
No, dude, you said all the right things. I'm going to play this a couple different ways. I talked about this a little bit on Gold Boys where, and I did a little NBC spot, kind of how I'm going to play Astros. I don't want to play them game by game necessarily, and I didn't want to play them to win the World Series at 5-1. I'm just going to start with their series price, bet their series price, and then roll that over each game. That'll give me, if they keep going, I did the math, even at like the worst odds should probably give me 9-1. I'm rolling it over each one, but a play that I do have for this game.
Explain that for a viewer that might not know what you're referring to.
Yeah, so basically what you do is you bet the series price. You put 1 unit on it. You take all of the money if they win that series, then you put it on the next series price, and you do that continuously through the World Series. It's a little bit way to get better than 5-1. The numbers, I could probably pull up the correct numbers if I had more time, but before the postseason started, it was projected like 9-1 at the worst odds that you get. So, obviously the numbers are going to change. But if you get anything better than 5-1 on a team that you think can win it, I think it's a little bit more financially sound to do it that way.
Got it.
And to his point, the Astros are minus 150 on FanDuel right now. So if they go to minus 155, I'm going to bet them because I don't want it to get any worse. But I think that it's going to continue to come down. I'm seeing a lot of Twins love on social media.
Oh, yeah.
I've been watching this very closely. So that 9-1 might jump to 10 or 11-1 by the time first pitch comes tomorrow. So, I feel the same way as you, sir.
Yeah, I also took Verlander 6+ strikeouts and Astros money line gives you plus money on FanDuel. I pretty much have done this I pretty much have taken every pitcher strikeouts against the Twins this season. They just strike out a ton, even if they win. But I like this to get a little bit better value on Verlander. You can't really. The problem is you can't really take his strikeouts to a good number unless you jump all the way to 10, and I'm not taking that. So I'm just bypassing his regular line and sticking with the 6.
For me, I just put this on the screen: Houston, Atlanta moneyline parlay. If I'm being honest, I have no idea if that I'm going to bet that. I'm just putting something here. Like I said earlier, I didn't look at anything yet. I'm just hosting, having these guys who have looked at it share their thoughts. I'll probably end up tailing whatever Toast does tomorrow, as long as it doesn't involve the Philadelphia Phillies. I won't do it. I won't do it. And our poll is all over the Astros, but like I said, very small sample size. Games aren't until tomorrow. 70% voted the Astros, 20% Minnesota. Speaking of the filthiest team in the league, Phillies at Braves. The price says it all. The price says it all of what they're expecting to happen here. Toast, are you taking the Phillies?
Yeah, but I'm not. It's not. It's a half a unit right now. I still think we're going to get better. I have them at plus 180 at Bet Rivers right now. Ranger Suarez actually has pretty decent numbers against the Braves. I don't really worry about him too much. The thing that I worry about is here in Game 1 is why I don't really like the Phillies as much here in Game 1. It's Strider, and Strider's been very good. The one time that he's pitched bad against this team was in this same spot last year. Obviously, the Braves know that. So this isn't the one spot that I like for the Phillies. But I do think after this game, the best way to play this would be if you want to take the Phillies, assuming that they probably lose Game 1, is to take them on the series price after they lose Game 1. Because then you're going to be going out with maybe an okay Max Fried that's got blisters, and then after that it's Elder or whoever, and so that's where I think that the advantage lies with the Phillies. So the Phillies are definitely the hottest team, one of the hotter teams in the league right now. I don't really put a lot of stock into what happened in that Marlins series because the Marlins aren't that good of a baseball team. This is completely different. I don't have to, if you're watching this show right now, I don't have to tell you how good the Braves are and what their offensive numbers look like. Everybody knows that. So Phillies strike out a lot. That's what worries me with Strider. But they're playing very well. So I'm on the Phillies. There's going to be ways to play it. I want to see lineups and stuff tomorrow. But I'm going to be trying to find ways to play the Phillies. Not in love with Game 1 though. So it'll probably only be a half unit. But I do think that there's momentum counts for something.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'll be quick. I was just going to say this series scares me. I think that like a lot of people have, when you do these shows all the time, people kind of persuade you a little bit. I end up laying off, but I wanted to say before I forget, I gave Acuna out MVP, then his odds dropped. World Series MVP is back up to 10-1. I think that's probably the best you're going to get for him. Just a fun angle, and you can still root for the team throughout the entire World Series playoffs. Like, obviously it's just a World Series award, so don't forget, like, he can go absolutely nuts and then have some really terrible games and not win the award. But I just think that price doesn't get any better. I'm surprised it's back to 10-1.
Acuna World Series,
they won't be in the World Series.
Well, and listen, I put it this way. This is how I explained it. If you're gonna really play plus 250 for the Braves to win the World Series, like, you have to imagine that you're getting at least 10% more value by taking Acuna MVP instead of plus 250.
You're getting more value rolling it over series. I mean, there's 5 different ways where you can figure it out way better value than the Braves. But they don't want to hear. They don't want to talk about that.
I bet the Braves preseason. So like, I'm just gonna sit tight with that on that side of the bracket. Like, I'm just gonna chill. But I just thought that price was solid.
I gotta ask. And can you guys see my screen? You guys can, right?
Yes.
Look at this bet I just found while Toast was talking. Is this just me, or does the math not really add up here? It's, I'll type it on the screen. Atlanta to win Game 1 and the series is minus 125. If we agree that Strider pitching at home in Game 1, minus 205, that the Braves probably should win Game 1.
Yeah.
What are the odds that the Phillies come back and win down 1-0? I feel like, I don't know.
That's a really good bet.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I mean, and you could even hedge that with a Phillies overall series win.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's going to be a huge price, and you're probably sitting at a nice middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. While Toast was talking, I obviously, like I said, I didn't look at anything, so I was just scrolling, see if I could find anything to talk about, and that one jumped out at me. I feel like if
Was that under specials?
I was right here under divisional series on
Oh
FanDuel.
wow, yeah, I see it.
I mean, yeah, at minus 125. I mean, it's almost
I don't
mean, because no matter what, you can play the Phillies after that and be at a way less price.
To calculate on whether or not it's a valuable bet, you would have to look and see how often the team that goes down 1-0 comes back to win and all that. But I feel like with game one being so heavily slated towards the Braves with Strider versus Ranger Suarez, but then there's also the added element that you're going to get Nola and Wheeler against, Elder. So maybe that's the angle that FanDuel is rocking with.
Right. Well, if that's the case, you're going to assume that Strider gets 2 wins. So that's 2. If you assume that Wheeler can get 2, that's 2 and 2. So then who do you trust more? Do you trust, you know what I mean? Like, that's where can Atlanta win games in Philly? I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can pick and turn that too. So because those deciding, so
I just feel like that number looks good, and with
no
math behind it, I didn't calculate anything out. It just looked good.
I just added it to my slip. We'll see if I end up betting it. I have to do some math on it.
Our polls, again, limited viewers, 56% on the Braves, 40% on the Phillies. I'm surprised at how dominant the Phillies looked recently, and then in the wild card series, that there's not more money coming in on the Phillies as huge dogs. Little surprised on that.
I'm trying to see what's their World Series price. It was 12-1 before the playoffs.
Phillies right now is plus 850.
Okay. So down a little.
The Dbacks plus 1,700. No one believes in the snakes.
It's hard.
Speaking of snakes, here we are. Dbacks Dodgers. All right, let's see what we got. Dbacks Dodgers over under. Now, obviously, in this stage of the MLB playoffs, this is going to be the most heavily tilted odds, because not only do you have the top seeds playing the wild card teams, but also you have the top seeds with their SP1 against teams that just went through a series already. So this isn't unusual to see clear heavy favorites that are the clear public sides also. But Merrill Kelly on the road in Dodger Stadium. Toast, does he have good numbers at Dodger Stadium? Doesn't he pitch? He doesn't?
Oh, they're real bad.
Is it who is it? Is it Gallen that pitches well there? I thought one of those guys pitches well at Dodger Stadium. I've been out of baseball mode for a while now.
I'm trying to get the actual numbers really quick.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's like every time I press the button.
There it is. He's 0-0. Merrill Kelly has a record of 0-11 with a 5.49 ERA and 69 strikeouts in 16 appearances against the Dodgers in his career. So
that's against the Dodgers total. Any playoff matchups? Probably not.
I don't think so. Probably not. But
last outing,
this is another one.
Hits to the Dodgers in his last outing. Wow, 6 hit before that. 23% hard hit percentage. My God, 5 walks.
Yeah,
3 walks. Holy crap.
And everybody wants to everybody's talking about the Dodgers pitching, their lack of starting pitching. But I think that you're going to have okay Kershaw. I mean, I don't worry about Clayton Kershaw. I think Bobby Miller should be okay. And then Pepio has actually been a lot better than people think. And then in that back end, Evan Phillips, Gratterall, and Brazier, all 3 of those guys have the top 11 in the lowest ERA in baseball in the second half. None of them are huge strikeout guys, but their bullpen their bullpen Ks per nines went to over 10 in September. So if those guys are throwing, it's going to be really scary. It's just the question of who's pitching. Is Lance Lynn go out there and pitch? And I think that he does. I think that they're one of those guys that he's a veteran pitcher.
Are you saying in general, or are you saying we should see Lance Lynn at some point in this game?
No, in the series.
Sorry. Right. No, that's what I thought you meant. I was just clarifying.
Sorry, yeah, I apologize. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick overview with that. But yeah, I would still say Dodgers minus 1.5 here. There's no question about it.
Oh, laying the 1.5. BLT, you with that?
Yeah, I'm on the same side, and also taking Dodgers minus 1.5 in the series price. Both are plus money. It's just tough. Like, Atlanta's in such a really bad spot right now. I'm not Atlanta, excuse me, Arizona. I was excited for Arizona to make it out of the wild card round. They played well, they deserved it, but their backs up are against the wall. And I kind of agree with you here when we're talking about the pitching. Like, isn't that like the common theme, like the reoccurring theme that we keep hearing week in, week out as we lead up to the playoffs, where everyone was like, "Oh man, the Dodgers pitching, like they're all right." And then you have to trust Lance Lynn. I did say that if Arizona wants any chance of doing this, when they roll Lance Lynn out there, they have to win that game. Like that's their absolute must-win spot.
Right.
But that's not even a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee, not to mention Arizona really bad against lefties.
Yeah.
It's just an uphill climb. That bullpen for Arizona, too, has already been worked up. I mean, this isn't the Brewers. I mean, the Brewers were left bases loaded 3 times that series. I mean, Evan Longoria made a play. There's a lot of things that went right for Arizona in that series. I'm not trying to take any credit away from them. I bet the Brewers both games, and I lost full front. But, this is not the same situation. This is the Dodgers team with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman out there. And by the way, Gabriel Moreno, he is set to play game 1. But if he has any type of concussion symptoms or gets hit in the head again, he might be out. And that would be absolutely devastating for Arizona. I mean, they're like they win like 60% of their games with him in there. When he's not in there, they're like down to like 40%. He's a huge part of their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just take the Dodgers with these guys. That Merrill Kelly against the Dodgers, that's pretty terrifying. See, this one, I mean, now this data, take it with a grain of salt. Whoa. Take it with a grain of salt. And also, like I mentioned earlier, we're still more than 24 hours away from this game starting. Majority of the action is going to come in tomorrow. But this is how I was expecting the Phillies one to look. I thought there was going to be a lot of people playing that big number on the Phillies, and there's a decent amount of the public out here playing the Diamondbacks at the big plus price. I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised that people are willing to take a shot on the Dbacks but not the Phillies, because I thought, judging by what we've seen the last couple of months, the Phillies should be getting a lot of public action, you would think. But you know what? The public does love the Braves. They do love the Braves.
Yes.
And I can tell you right now, the books are in agreement with the Dodgers, because I don't like give these out, but I bet the Dodgers to win the series at minus 190 like a day ago when it first dropped. It's all the way up to 230 right now, and it continues to go up. So they're continuing to move
it's
that line.
Nuts.
Boom.
On I think FanDuel yesterday was even better price than that, because we talked about
it was way better.
Yeah, it was like minus 174, minus one, something like that. Wow, market agreements right there.
Like, I know that I understand if you're watching this and they're like, oh, minus 200, minus 170, that's nothing. Like, a good price is a good price. Like, that, especially in baseball. Like, sometimes I understand paying the juice isn't sexy, but if you have something that's going to win 75% of the time and you're getting at minus 174, like, that's a very, very, very good bet, guys.
Yep, exactly.
I'm going to run this poll over here. Let's see. Because the sides, as far as the poll, and we're dealing with a limited audience, but it was pretty decisive. They weren't really close. So let's see what everyone's favorite team to win in this game 1. We're talking game 1 only, not series. And then maybe we could build something. But there's not really enough people in here live to do like a community parlay like we normally do. But at least it'll give people an idea of what each other likes.
And just to give, since who are watching, like when he's talking about the Ronald Acuna at 10-1, like the next person on a different team that's not in a Brave is Mookie Betts. He's 24-1.
Yeah.
So there, I mean, that's a huge difference. I mean, so I just truly believe that if the Braves win, Acuna is going to probably be the MVP.
Yeah, especially just like how he contributes, like every part of the park, every aspect. Like I think the only way he doesn't win is if they have like a crazy game 7. Strider comes out and he mows down like 13 of them,
right?
With maybe one run or something.
And even like if you're just looking at just purely baseball, Austin Riley and Matt Olson are behind him. So unless Matt Olson just learns to not strike out overnight, and I mean I know he's going to put some numbers on the board, but he's not going to win an MVP striking out. And then Austin Riley, I mean, he could have a breakout, but it's going to be Acuna. I mean, if they do anything, it's going to be.
The Braves won, by the way. So I was way off trying to gauge that the public will be on the Phillies, because it seems like everyone just loves the Braves here. Kind of makes me want to bet the Phillies, but no, I will not do it. I'm riding the Braves. So yeah, thanks for watching. Loaded weekend for sports. I'll be live again tomorrow morning with the Pick Dogs guys for the college football at 10:30. We'll be live Sunday morning for the NFL at 11. Yeah, and we'll get Lord BLT back on here soon, Mr. Brad Thomas. Make sure you follow him on Twitter if you don't already. Make sure you give him a follow. I got to start tailing some of your soccer bets. I see you posting all kinds of stuff over there.
My soccer is literally my best money winner year in and year out. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I started in this industry as a soccer handicapper. Someone told me you should start posting your picks. That's how it happened. And
there you go. And now you're here.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, have a great night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in the morning. Remember to bet responsibly and all that.